Hello everyone, this is Marissa and this is my disease presentation for this class. I chose to do my disease on type 1 diabetes. I am recording this on my phone because I don't know how to do it on my computer, so please bear with me. And here we go. So what is type 1 diabetes? It is actually under the umbrella of diabetes mellitus, which is a disease that prevents your body from being able to properly process the sugars that you intake for cellular energy and functioning. So, of course, there are two types, and those are the two ways that this can happen. Type 1 is where the pancreas produces little to no insulin for the body to use, and type 2 is when the pancreas produces insulin, but the insulin doesn't function properly, and so that is insulin resistance. So the insulin is basically useless to the body. The insulin is a key factor in processing sugars and is produced by cells in the pancreas called beta cells. And without the ability to process these sugars, your cells are basically deprived of energy, leading to all kinds of problems like organ malfunction, organ damage, organ shutdown, and death if left untreated. So not fun. Are animals susceptible to type 1 diabetes? Yeah, so they definitely are. There's not an official list of animals that can develop type 1 diabetes. The most common animals to develop it behind humans are dogs and cats. Rats and mice also are known to develop it. However, it's kind of spontaneous when it's noticed in the lab, and it can also be induced by viruses that are injected in them in the lab. So for this, I'm not really going to consider them, but just keep that in mind. There are also other animals that have been reported to have diabetes, but whether it's type 1 or 2 is not always reported, it's not tested, and it's not always treated. But those animals are cattle, pigs, sheep, horses, elephants, monkeys, and bison. Theoretically, type 1 diabetes can actually be in any animal with a pancreas because of the existence of a mutation. So if your beta cells in any animal mutates, then that animal's beta cells might not be able to produce insulin, which is type 1 diabetes. So that can happen theoretically to any animal, technically. For the purpose of this, I'm only going to focus on the animals that occurs naturally with type 1 diabetes. So, basically dogs and cats. So the symptoms are actually kind of similar between animals and humans. Excessive thirst and dry mouth and urination is a big one. Decreased appetite, blurred vision in humans, and cloudy eyes in dogs, which I assume would cause them blurred vision, although they can't really tell us that. Slower healing of cuts and bruises in humans. I'm sure that happens in animals too, even though it's not listed. But one animal can say, hey, I've been scratched for 3 weeks and I'm still bleeding. So, yeah. Weight loss, dry skin, increased appetite, and chronic infections like urinary and skin infections are definitely an option. In humans, numbness and tingling in the hands and feet is also a thing, but animals can't really tell us if their paws are numb or tingling. So I can't say whether or not that is a symptom of animals, but I'm not going to rule it out because they could experience it and just not be able to express it. As far as treatment, animals can 100% be treated for diabetes, type 1 in particular. Yes, they can. It's treated really similar to humans. They get insulin injections just like humans do. They get their injections mostly on their back, towards either their shoulder blades or their hip bones, about 1 to 2 inches from the middle of the back. The insulin injections are given twice a day and is recommended for them to be administered after meals. And the injections can last anywhere between 4 to 12 hours. It depends on the dose and the size of the animal, how long the insulin actually lasts. And other treatments beyond any kind of medicine is just daily exercise for both, and then a high fiber diet for dogs and a high protein diet for cats. So these treatments actually allow the cats and dogs to live a completely normal life, and it does not diminish their life expectancy as long as they are cared for properly. And here are my citations, everything that I used and researched. I also took a class on diabetes before, so some of this information came from my brain, but I'm not going to write that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.